Tell me a little bit more about the education piece of how you're seeking to come alongside homeowners that maybe want to become more proficient when it comes to tools or be more empowered. Tell me how about
Yeah.
you're thinking about that.
Yeah. So, well, my business right now
Mhm.
has sort of two branches. One
Mhm.
is the fabrication, where
Mhm.
I will happily build you something cool,
Mhm.
happily build you cool things. Or the other branch is what I'm dubbing like a DIY coach. And I will come help you build anything you want, be it cool, be it bookshelves, a floating shelf, you need to fix a table leg, like whatever it is at your level,
Mhm.
I will happily meet you there and teach you what to do. And that has come about from decades of teaching, like in respect, both from like formal, like university level, high school level, informal nannying, tour guiding, coaching, that kind of, it's all teaching. Like even just having interns, you're teaching. And so, like, it seems silly to let that experience go to waste.
Mhm.
I've got a really good, solid, understanding of, I think it's hard for people who have decades of experience in a trade to remember what it's like to come from nothing or to come from very different angles, right? So, also in that, like I used to teach arts kids how to build scenery, and that's not necessarily their main skill set, right? Like a lot of times in theater, like even the designers. So if you're not familiar with sort of the entertainment industry, theater specifically, if you look at the scenery on stage, there is somebody who designed it. And then there is somebody who did the engineering and gave it to the shop to build. Okay. So the engineering kind of piece is called the technical director. That's what my sort of formal training is as. And then carpenters, prop artisans, painters, blah, blah, blah. They're going to build it. So the person who designs it, depending on their background and where they went to school, they didn't necessarily get a strong education in physics, you know, or they've never had to budget their shows out. Because there's many schools of design that don't teach that. They're like, design it, and then they will figure out how to do the thing, right? And so a lot of times you get this design, and then your job is to figure out how to create the closest thing to it that not only like is in reality in terms of the space, but also the budget and like what you're capable of, like even just your artisans. And so having dealt with like a lot of different expectations and coming from different angles, and sometimes you get kids that used to help their parents in the, their dad, usually dad in the shop working building stuff their whole lives, and you have some kids that are like scared of a screw gun, and that's fine. That's a perfectly reasonable place to be. And so having like, a decade or plus experience in teaching and nurturing and trying to build that, it was just an absolute delight to stumble across through the help of a client who wanted this, stumble across this idea of like coming in and teaching people how to manage their own home. Like it's so empowering for homeowners to not have to call someone to change out a ceiling fan.
Mhm.
It's a relatively simple thing, but you do want to have an idea of what you're doing. Lighting
Absolutely.
fixtures, like you don't want to mess with electricity unless you have a general idea of how to go about that. And so like to be able to come in, even people who bought tools because they knew they needed it, and maybe they know how the chop saw works, but maybe they don't understand the full scope of what you can accomplish with that, like with the mitering or with this, or do you have a table saw? You should know what you're doing if you have a table saw, guys. But or call me and I'll come help you. Or like all the different ways you can go about doing things.
Mhm.
Yeah, everything from simple home repair to like building your dream table. I had a woman who has a huge cassette collection, like
Mhm.
vintage cassette collection that's hers and her father's. And we built this really cool table that was of her design using some reclaimed legs from chairs that she had that displays the cassettes. It has a cool Bluetooth cassette player on it. And you can like, it's like a statement art piece, but it's a
Wow.
functioning coffee table. Yeah. So it's like to build your dream wacky piece, or just teach you how to use chop saw for a little
Sure.
while, and just being able to do that is really cool, I think.
Well, we're definitely going to link the content in terms of the photos that you just referenced. We'll link to your website as well for those that want to follow your journey of building that business or hire you to build some cool shit.
Yeah, thanks. I would love that. The wackier the project, like hit me with it. I love that. Love the problem solving and the sort of dreaming part. You can also on the Instagram watch Danny and I try to put our house back together after pulling it apart.
I love that.